Hello, everyone. What's going on? Back in action, as you can see. Fortunately, I am indoors. I wishing that all of you are safe from the storms. We lost power, we lost water, all the things. So until we get reacclimated back up here in the mountains, I'm wishing and anticipating tomorrow I will be back outdoors. It is a little bit rugged outside as we are, again, getting acclimated from the storm. So without further ado, how are y'all doing, everyone? Welcome back on this Tuesday. I am truly excited. Did y'all check out yesterday's pre-recorded video? I uploaded it. I wanted to do something a little bit different and not leave you hanging, but yesterday's video was talking about failure. And if y'all have been watching me for a while, you had truth be told, I failed and continue to fail at everything I do. But as you know, as people say, fail is the acronym for first attempt in learning. So when you have it in your mindset that failure is not an option and that failure is something to gain, then you are on the right track. Because if you're not failing, you're not trying. And if you look at all of the greats, whether they're inventors, leaders of the world, scientists, writers, we all start at the starting line. So it's just a matter of making that pivotal change and making that adjustment that we need to when we are moving ahead in life. Bear with me one moment. I want to make sure that I am audible. So let's see if that is working. And yes, we are audible. Awesome. So ladies and gentlemen, let's rewind and figure out what we need to do in store today. What we need to do in store today is keeping our mind fresh, gaining clarity. The last evening, I was co-facilitating a meeting and we were talking about the opportunities that arise when we have that negative self-talk, that negative doubt, when we don't look at things the way we used to, we don't praise ourselves, and we are so quick to judge others in a negative light or a positive light and forget about the reflection in the mirror. And a lot of times is that we don't practice what we teach. A lot of us say preach, but I like to say a softer tone in what we teach when we are teaching either our children, our students, our clients, our family members, whatever it may be. And so when we talk about trying, we want to be very mindful of that word. Trying is just doing what we can. But when we do, that's when the game changer arises. When we do is that we're making a conscious effort of taking action, being in active mode. And remember, choices are made every moment, every single moment. And when we are inactive, that's a choice. A lot of people don't realize that. When we are proactive, another choice. When we are reactive, that's another choice. Now, you may say, Andrea, well, is that the conscious mind or not? It really depends on where you're at in your mindset as well as your life. When we look at things, we kind of tend to go on reactive mode for whatever reason, for personal trauma, past experiences, our own treatment of ourselves. And so when we look at things, when we do it with integrity, do it with authenticity, and do it with attention and intention. Now, how do we do that? We take a 3-second pause. I know that as human beings, we are creatures of comfort. I know that when we take the initiative to do something, when our emotions are our masters, we tend to be reactive. But how many of us take that 3-second pause and say, is this helpful? Is this harmful? Is this something I'm choosing to do or something that they feel they would want me to do? And when we look at that, that's going to shift our mindset, shift the perspective, as well as the way we respond to things. So let me break it down for you. Andrea, how do I do that? If I'm in a heated argument with somebody, how do I take that initiative to act with intention and do it correctly as opposed to be reactive and incorrectly? First step in learning how to go from try to do is getting centered, getting grounded. And how do we do that? You've heard it here several times on my show, my lives. We have gratitude attitude. Take a deep breath in, blow out the candle gently, and ground yourself to know where you are. Secondly, we ask ourselves intentionally, attentively, and what is the outcome we want to produce? Then we say, all right, what is the emotion attached with it? Because we are going to label our emotion so it becomes our messenger as opposed to our master. My outcome is such, and I'm doing with positive intention. Then third, we act upon it. We act upon it from our heart. Andrea, I can't do all that when I'm in a heated situation. It takes 3 seconds. Breathe. I know what I'm going to do. This is the result, an outcome I want to produce, and I'm going to do it in a well delivered manner. How would I want to receive that message? But the sticky situation is understanding your audience. Now, I've experienced this many, many times, and I know the men out there are going to agree with me when they are dealing with their spouses, their women in their lives. Women, we are emotional human beings. We're nurturers, right? And we have this connotation where we expect the men in our lives to understand where we're coming from, the mindset, the emotional, the attachment, and what we are delivering. But what happens, ladies, is we put out a mixed vibration. We want them to understand us, but again, counterproductive is we want them to understand us the way we want to deliver the message. So men, I grew up with 7 male cousins, so I'm kind of the rugged tomboy. So I was understanding the men's perspective is I want direct and simple information. If I ask you, how do you get to the store? I don't want the scenic road. I want maybe 2 or 3 landmarks and to get to the store, right, left, stoplight, make a right, and then bear left. Now, when we are doing things, especially in the corporate America, as I've worked, brace yourself, ladies, I've had positive outcomes when working for a man as opposed to a woman. Now, why is that? Because I don't understand why, but it happens time and time again, and it's becoming more pronounced that women are in complete fight or flight competitive mode. And when women are amongst one another, for some reason, some shape or form, I've experienced, I'm guilty of it too, we get intimidated or we want to kind of have that level up amongst our fellow sisters. 9 times out of 10, as emotional human beings, women take things personally. At times, not all women, and we have some emotional attachment with the way we present ourselves, communicate, or produce results. So for the ladies out there, when you're working in an environment of a lot of women, be mindful 3 things are into effect: emotions, hormones, as well as We want effective communication, not directive communication. Now, let me clarify the difference. Effective communication is meeting them where they're at on a soft emotional understanding. This is how I feel. Putting ourselves first, because for some reason we get on the attack mode. Secondly, the directive mode is feeling inferior or intimidated of our fellow female employees or authority figures, and our emotions just get all jumbled up. So when we move forward, men, be mindful that our women are emotional and nurturing human beings. So have patience. There's a lot of emotions attached when you're connecting with them. Women, we are emotional and sensitive human beings. Be mindful. We're not on the defense all the time. We have to kind of ground ourselves and have effective communication and not directive communication. So how does this all tie in to do as opposed to try? If you want to succeed in life, you have to have an idea, a direction, a vision, clarity. And at times throughout the journey, that clarity can shift. But when you understand your clarity in speaking and coaching, it's Les Brown, my kindred spirit, my best friend, my coach, person I walk beside, fellow adoptee. We want to understand our why. Why do we do what we do? What is the end game? What are we working towards? Are we constantly and daily improving? So when we have clarity on our why, on why we are doing things, then we can salt and pepper shake our emotions, our strategies, our network, as well as our process. So when you are going about your day to day, to recap and go over all of what we had spoken. Number one, as the legendary Yoda of Star Wars, do or do not. There is no try. Everything you do today, you're choosing to press play. Plan life according to you. So make sure when you set out a goal, an activity, a role, a project, a process, you commit to it. Number two, make sure that your emotional intelligence and balance are intact, that you are constantly in responsive mode as opposed to reactive. For the men out there, you have to have patience, be direct, but also gentle when working with women. Women, when we are being responsive as opposed to reactive, number one, don't take it personally. Number two, make sure you are clear with your communication. And number three, leave the baggage at home and connect with your fellow female employees as a sisterhood as opposed to a strategy of competitiveness. It will be seamless and less stressful, believe you me. And then finally, thirdly, when we are looking at taking the initiatives, taking that leap of faith, following by faith and not by sight, make sure that you are holding the pen in your own hand as you are writing a new sentence, statement, chapter of your story every single day. My name is Andrea Mason, your first choice, your global voice, alumna of Les Brown and the CEO of Press Play, Plan Life According to You, global ambassador, lifestyle and legacy consultant, as well as your personal accountability coach. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for watching. Anticipating to be outdoors tomorrow, weather permitting. I appreciate you. You can find this playback after 30 days housed on my YouTube channel, Andrea Mason, From Victim to Victorious. I welcome your comments, likes, shares, subscriptions. It really helps me grow my audience because when I grow, you grow. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for watching. One love, ciao, and I will see you tomorrow. Be safe and be well.